All right, all right, all right, all right. Give me 1 second,
PC.
everybody. Peace, Noble. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. So I'm here on my break, but I gotta return back to the work site.
I'm sorry, nobody hear you. What you say?
Now I said I'm doing excellent. I'm here on my break,
Okay.
but I gotta return back to the work site. I'm gonna have to go live. I think Nobel Alonzo gonna come on and
Okay.
finish the stream up, but I'm gonna start
Okay. And when it's over, I'll just end. I'm just getting this other phone so I can just go over a little bit of this Poisonous Tree chapter 2, and then I'm gonna end it. I'm just getting my other phone real fast. Ain't gonna be long, but gratitude, man, for doing that.
it.
You got it for me? Peace, 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 peace. Before we get started, I want to do our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Alakim, Ayah Asher Ayah, peace, 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 peace. I'm at a different location. I got peace, Noble Brian, gratitude. Gratitude for taking time on your lunch to set this up. And it's going to be a quick demonstration. Well, I won't say quick demonstration. It's going to be a nice demonstration. And if anybody wants this information, all you got to do is hit me up and I'll send it to your email for a small donation. It's no problem. But we're going to talk about this book called A Fruit from a Poisonous Tree and the secrets that were never to be revealed. American blacks were set free as slaves, but never as free men. Now here it is again, another European. This is a lawyer, an attorney, is telling us that blacks, they were set free as slaves, not as free men when you're Negro, black, and color, and African American. All you own belongs to the Federal Reserve. All you own belongs to the Federal Reserve. And even when I speak about ministry, when I talk about what the biblical text speak about not going in debt and what mortgages clearly are pertaining to the Bible. And you are made a slave by the way your name is spelled. And I understand the caps and all that, but we have to really sit down and have conversations to be, how can I say, correct as a group, as a body. The Patriot Act emasculates the Bill of Rights. And the Constitution was set aside during the Civil War and has never been in effect since. So when we speak on things, especially pertaining to who we are as a people, when we don't use misnomers like Negro, black, and color, and African American, as I've been breaking down the SF 181 form pertaining to ethnicity, we got to stop picking something that means nothing. It means nothing. And we're going to keep breaking that down. But today I want to just give a little intro of the fruit from a poisonous tree. I just want to give a little preface to spark your attention. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. That's Genesis chapter 2, verse 17. So, what others are saying about this wisdom, I don't want to quote all that. I want to really get right into it. The contents of this book, you have fruit from a poisonous tree. You got citizenship, expatriation. You hear a lot of Moors talking about expatriate from this de facto government. But when you do that, who are you affiliate to? Who do you have allegiance with? You're going to be a sovereign citizen, foreign and abroad. You're going to be an alien. Magicians, collection agency, the Federal Reserve, incorporated, money above the law, the swindle, a house for free, how you rob a really big bank, allodial title, mirrors of illusions, broken, war powers, another perspective. And this is the stuff that I teach my brothers and sisters, especially a lot of Moors that's getting caught up, talk about they finna do a allodial deed on a structure. It don't work. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background of this brother. Melvin Stamper has experienced a remarkable life journey few of us will ever experience. His background in law, I think I might have to, hold on y'all, I'm gonna move my locations because it's a little loud in here. So give me a second, let me just move real fast. 1 second, y'all. Let me go to a different location. We got family in town. We got at this nice location. So I'm gonna go in my little private area that I got set up for myself. And I'll finish this down right here. So give me 1 second. Let me set this up because I don't want this to be too long. All right, I'm back. And so what we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to give a little preface of this wisdom. And then I'm out of here. So Melvin Stamper has experienced a remarkable life journey few of us will ever experience. His background in law and criminal investigation has enabled him to uncover facts of the crime of the millennium, exposing the motive along with the conspirators, the subtle and not so subtle threats from the government agencies that he was investigating merely served as a motivating force and confirmation of his investigation. Experience is the one factor we must all use in determining credibility of another. And Stamper's experience in law, analytical thinking, and detection rivals that of any other in the investigation of a crime involving government subterfuge and cover-up. This author serves his country as a U.S. Marine in Southern Asia, a police chief, railroad special agent, CIA intelligence source, industrial engineer, pilot, law professor, legal researcher, private investigator, and an ombudsman with the Department of Defense. His analytical skills were honed by all of his experience and education for the investigation of his life, the United States government. My personal relationship with the author has spanned 2 decades, and he never stops amazing me with the information he uncovers. Get comfortable and hold on to your hat. Now, I'm just going to talk about chapter 1 just a little, and I'm going to jump right into chapter 2. Watch. So, in this wisdom, chapter 1 is talking about citizenship expatriation. You hear a lot of Moors talking about they're going to expatriate from this de facto government, but they don't know what that consists of. So I never teach something that'll get you in trouble. That's why you need to come to school. But let me just give a little introduction. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame with conjuring limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, mother of exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air bridge harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands, your story pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. That's by Emma Lazarus, New York City, 1883. Now, let me just give you a little bit of excerpt because you need this information. You need this piece of wisdom. I can't keep doing this and then my people don't get the wisdom and then you continue to be lost and the rest of the world study this to a T. But in 1798, Thomas Jefferson instructed that Congress has not unlimited power to provide for the general welfare, but only those specifically enumerate. Wilson Nicholas, a delegate to Virginia Convention that ratified the Constitution, said Congress has the power to define and punish for counterfeiting and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the law of nations, but they cannot define or prescribe the punishment for other crimes whatsoever without violating the Constitution. Chief Justice Marshall said the police power unquestionably remains and ought to remain with the states. Until this past century, federal courts upheld the view that the federal government could deal only with crimes specifically mentioned in the Constitution. In 1911, the Supreme Court said, and I quote eloquently with a silver tongue, among the powers of the state not surrendered, which powers therefore remain with the state, is the power to regulate the relative rights and duties of all within its jurisdiction, as to guard the public morals, the public safety, and the public health, as well as to promote the public convenience and the common good. At the founding of this republic, there were only 4 federal crimes: treason, counterfeiting, piracy, and crimes against the law of nations. Now there are 3,000 federal crimes, 3,000 federal administrative regulations, many of which are punishable as crimes, and about 85,000 local government with 513,000 elected officials, or 1 in every 500 people. We have an estimate 45 million laws, state, federal, and local. God, the creator of the universe, gave us only 10 laws, which to live our lives. And although I fail often, I try to conduct myself by these 10 commandments. It would be impossible, however, to obey 45 million laws. Those millions of laws and the government enforcers are destroying our republic. In 1900, 1 in every $15 went for government use. In the year 2000, it is nearly 1 in every 2. We must contend with 65 times more laws than our grandfathers did at the turn of the 20th century, the most cruel and unjust of these being the tax laws. Every federal program takes on a life of its own, so it will be extremely difficult to transfer power from the federal government to the states. It's difficult to change, much less kill or transfer a federal program once it has been established, even after it has outlived usefulness. The New Deal view of an all-powerful central government must be replaced with a firm separation of powers if this republic is to survive. Increasingly, in the last 100 years, powerful corporate interests have deliberately subverted the intent of the founders by financing the appointment of judges who would enhance corporate and federal power and weaken the constitutional system of checks and balances. While many today attack the New Deal as representing the demise of constitutional government in America, the assaults actually began in the late 1800s, when federal courts led by Supreme Court started chipping away at state sovereignty. This allowed the federal government to assume numerous duties and responsibilities that under the Constitution had been reserved to the state or the people. We the people of the United States, in order to perform a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, and establish this Constitution to the United States of America. Recalcitrant Southern states did not turn to the Supreme Courts to leave the Union before the Civil War, partly because the Constitution does not grant the federal courts the right to control state sovereignty. The Constitution did not create a judicial supremacy, and there is extensive evidence that the founders never granted the Supreme Court the power to rule over the president, Congress, or the states. Every July 4th, we honor the signing of the Declaration of Independence. By signing that document, the founding fathers, many of whom were deceased, pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to the premise that all men are created equal, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I teach that. Endowed by their creator with unalienable rights to be secured by a government that was subject to and inferior to the consent of the governed. That's why you can't be Negro, Black, and colored African American, my brothers and sisters. The British pursued them as traitors to the king. of the 56 original signers, 9 did not leave to see free. 9 did not live to see freedom. 5 were imprisoned, and 17 lost everything they had. Their sacrifice for the Constitution of the United States has guided this nation through a continuing effort to bring liberty and justice for all. Can any of us do less? The courage of America's founders was based on their belief in God's providence. George Washington called America's liberties the object of divine protection. James Madison, president and signer of the Constitution, affirmed their belief, saying, before any man can be considered as member of civil society, he must be considered as a subject of the governor of the universe. At the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin began the tradition of prayers in Congress, saying, in the beginning of the conquest with Great Britain, when we, sensible of danger, we had daily prayer in this room for divine protection. Our prayers, sir, were heard, and they were graciously answered. I have lived, sir, a long time, and the longer I live, the more convincing proof I see of this truth, that God governs the affairs of men. And if a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without his notice, it is probable that an empire can rise without his aid. So I don't want to indulge too much in that. I'm just setting the precedent. I want to go to chapter 2, and then we out of here. I want to spark something, because I need to study for tomorrow for Sunday school, because it's going to be amazing. But all the confusion over 80-page act then is expungently compounded now by the current 10,000 plus page Internal Revenue Code, 26 USC, along with more than 30,000 pages of implementing Internal Revenue Regulations, 26 CFR, and some borrowed from 27 CFR. It is now practically impossible for citizens to keep track of government's latest edits. So when people be talking stuff, man, this is a work that we have to do. That's why we need our school, which is the Burning Bush Tabernacle, for you can be correct and not arbitrarily explain and remove your anger. I'll give a little bit of this and then I'm done. I'll go to the next intro and then we here. But remember, the initial battles of the revolution occurred after British troops tried to seize the colonists' private weapons. Today, residents in Chicago, Washington, D.C., and other cities submit to the de facto prohibition on handgun ownership imposed by the same government that grossly fails to protect the citizens from private violence. The 1775 revolution was largely a revolt against growing arbitrary power. Nowadays, seemingly, the only principle is to have no political principle, to judge each act of government in a vacuum, to assume that each expansion of government power and nullification of individual rights will have no future impact. The founding fathers looked with horror at the liberties that they were losing, while modern Americans focus myopically on the freedoms that they still retain. America needs fewer laws, not more prisons. The founding fathers realized that some amount of government was necessary in order to prevent a war of all against all. By trying to seize far more power than is necessary or granted by the Constitution over American citizens, the federal government is destroying its own legitimacy. We face a choice, not an anarchy of fascism, but a choice of limited or unlimited government. We need to know that. This ain't no black and white thing. I'm telling y'all. But let me get to chapter 2, because it's so much that we need to learn. Like section 412 of the Patriot Act permits the government to arrest and detain immigrants indefinitely for nothing more than a visa violation. In fact, of the 1,200 known immigrant detentions since 9/11, the ACLU determined that only about 5 had been detained on terrorism-related charges. Section 802 creates the crime of domestic terrorism. This criminalizes any act of any member of the public that merely appear to the government's determination to be intended to influence the policy of the government by intimidation or coercion, or immediate or coercion a civilian population. This section would make just about any act of civil disobedience in protest against the government policy into an act of domestic terrorism. So when Moors get on the internet talking that they finna overthrow the government and sovereign citizen stuff, you are a domestic terrorist. Anyone who responds in writing to the IRS by objecting to one of its decisions could and probably will be labeled as a domestic terrorist. There goes the Fifth Amendment. So you got to know this when they come with that adverb verb genre. Our Congress, at the urging of the President and the Attorney General, has enacted criminal, unconstitutional legislation as an example of its new application. We now see what is planned for the rest of us. Attorney General John Ashcroft said, if you don't agree with the government, you are a terrorist. Attorney General Ashcroft pushed the U.S. Patriot Act through an overwhelming, dim-witted Congress soon after September 11. He has subverted more elements of the Bill of Rights than any Attorney General in American history. This is the same man who was beaten by a dead man in his bid for the Senate. So you got to know this stuff. So I can talk about that all day, but I want to give a little bit of this last section and then we done. Because you need the information. You need to have it for you can read it, for you can study it for yourself. And a lot of people don't have it. A lot of people don't have it. When I talk about citizenship repudiation, it's so much that we need to know. It's not no black and white thing. I said it's a document called the Citizenship Repudiation. Repudiation. Affidavit, assertory oath, and revocation of citizenship. This is to certify that I, Khary Goodman Bey, was born on, my date in the Sovereign Republic State, Kentucky. I'm just breaking it down. I presently live upon the land of the Sovereign Republic State of Florida. I am not a resident or a citizen of the United States Government Corporation, whose status is Washington, the District of Columbia. My relationship to that federal entity as far as jurisdiction is that of a non-resident alien to the corporate United States government. I am a free and natural human man, described by the Lord God as a living soul, living under the common law and the fear of God. I have assumed among the powers of the earth, granted by the Lord God Almighty, the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle me. Therefore, in order to secure the blessings of our liberty, to my prosperity and myself, to reacquire my birthrights as a member of the sovereign body of which we the people, I hereby asseverate and revoke my citizenship. This is what I'm reading in the book. If any ever existed with the legal fiction known as the United States Government Corporation. I further rescind any and all feudal contracts with the federal government and agencies and with the state of Florida and its agencies. I have rescinded the Social Security number fraudulently issued me by the government at the tender age of 13, as I was legally incompetent to enter into any legal contract with the government. The government, by misinformation, led me to believe at the time that I was required to secure a Social Security account number in order to gain employment, which is simply not true. The government agencies who obligated me to the Social Security system knew or should have known that there exist serious liabilities to anyone who accepts a Social Security number. That agent had a fiduciary responsibility to inform me of the true nature of the Social Security trust account and the obligations and liabilities that the trust involved. So I'm going to stop right there because I can go way deeper with it. I can go with the articles, but I don't. I'm going to keep all this for students to read, for you can get it, so we can come back and have conversation. You got article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 articles, and you need that. You really need it. It's so much in here. And I don't have time today to go over each article because that's not what I'm doing today. I'm trying to spark something and I'm trying to get you to do business with me for you can build your library, for the right one can speak for us. And so chapter 2 is talking about the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. They lived in a land of shadows and now the light is shining on them. That's Isaiah 9 and 2. So I want us to really get into chapter 2 of the illusion. Like I said, for you guys we can have conversation. That's what this is about. That's how we learn. So me just reading something and you don't have it for yourself. Today, I'm offering you this book, The Poisonous Tree. You need it because me going over it and you not having it, you can't read it, you can't ask questions. A lot of this stuff you hearing for the first time. So if you a follower, if you on here, If you don't have my information, you see it streaming at the bottom of the page. My cell phone, office number 602-473-8767. My Gmail is Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. You can get this information from me for a small donation. You gotta have it. I can't just keep going documents and people don't have it for themselves so you can read over it before we come into the cipher, because you need the information. And the only reason why we lost because we not into the know. And I'm right here. I'm the Book of Eli. I'm a source, a scholar, an educator, a sheep. My heart is pure. And I'm here to share this wisdom with all my brothers and sisters, because a workman is due his hire. So nobles, I want y'all to please get with me. Get this book from me, Poisonous Tree. Get other information from me. We don't have to go to Amazon. So you can learn this. And so you can have questions when we have ADAPT class and book club. And tomorrow is Sunday school. Please subscribe to our temple and our school YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I think it's outside. It's not. I don't have it. I gotta go find it. I don't have one in here. I'll go find it. But with that being said, man, gratitude for everyone. Remember, everything that I speak about, I offer it to you. You don't have to assume. You don't have to go on Amazon and spend all your money on things. Information should not cost you that much, but everything is worth its price if you're willing to pay for it, if that's what you want. But it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. It shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. If you want the information, I'm here. So with that being said, man, please subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School for book club, ADAPT class, and Sunday school. I love y'all, man, and thank y'all for taking time out y'all day. Our Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Ali. Shalom Alakim. Ayah Asha Allah. Ayah Asha Ayah. Peace, peace, peace. Shalom Alaikum. Peace, 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 peace. El Rahman, El Rahim, Yahak, Yamuhamin, Ashe. Peace, 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 peace. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for Sunday school. Peace and love, tribe.